None of us have worked since we started RDC. It's either believe all in it or nothing, nigga. Like,
RDCWorld has over 7 million subscribers on YouTube, and they have grown to arguably be the biggest comedy channel on YouTube. This is a group that has just been making videos for over 12 years now, and in that time, they've just grown a ton and have created an empire worth over $100 million. And today, we'll just be going over how they grew this big and how they make so much money. So let's get right into it. The first thing we need to do is look at the members of this group and how they came together, since that is an important part of the story. There are 7 official members in the group, however, most people are more aware of 5 of them, with those being Mark, Leland, Desmond, Ben, and Dylan. The other 2 members are Afyoung and John, and they work more in the background, though they have been in skits before and tend to play smaller roles. Pretty much all the members were friends or at least knew each other before officially being a part of RDC, and this is important because it shows a genuine relationship between the members and is a big factor for how and why they've managed to come so far. And this is comparable to the Sidemen, which is another massive YouTube group that has been around for about as long as RDC has, and they're still together and thriving because they were all friends before becoming the Sidemen. So overall, the genuine connection between the members is a key part, as it has allowed for them to work together and get along for all this time. But now let's move on to the actual content itself, since that's obviously how they will get their start. Their first video was posted in June of 2012, and this video actually contained 3 different comedy skits, and if you watch them, then you can see how similar they are to the current skits, despite this being 12 years ago. RDC always just had the comedy aspect nailed down, and that is a big reason as to why they were able to do well from early on. However, an interesting fact is that this wasn't really even supposed to happen. RDCWorld was actually supposed to be a manga studio, and it was just supposed to be Mark and Afyoung that were doing that. However, it would turn into them making YouTube videos, and it seems like this was definitely a good decision. However, RDC would come out with their own manga called Dark Lights about a year ago, so it is really cool to see how they did what they wanted to do in the first place, and that does play a big part in the business side, which we'll talk about later. But going back to their content, another important thing to point out is the fact that they have a bunch of different types of videos, and that has just really helped them grow and stand out, as it shows how they're versatile and they just appeal to a bunch of different audiences, which for the most part comes together through comedy. So, for example, you have the Anime House series and other anime themed videos that just appeal to that crowd, and this does make up a pretty big part of their audience, and it's like the main thing that helps them stand out and gain such a loyal fan base, in my opinion. Other than that, RDC were really just leaders, and they made anime a lot cooler and more widely accepted within the Black community as well as in general, and this has just led to other massive events like the iconic DreamCon, which has grown a ton and now has tens of thousands of people attending, and this is because the RDC members just had a passion for anime and posted that content on their channel without caring about what others would think, since 10 years ago, anime was just way less accepted than it is today. But outside of anime, RDC has gained an audience through just so much more stuff, with another example being their Hood videos. They have a ton of standalone skits, as well as the Hood Olympics and Hood Haunted House series that all appeal to a massive audience, and a reason these do so well is because they're just extremely unique. I mean, these concepts didn't exist before RDC made these videos, and that is why they're so famous, and this creativity can be seen throughout many of their videos. And another really popular series from RDC is their Locker Room videos, and a lot of these are centered around LeBron James, and it even led to RDC meeting him, which is just insane and amazing to see, and really shows how big of an impact these videos have. These Locker Room videos just appeal to a different audience, and these are also normally made shortly after the games finish, meaning these videos grow fast and are some of the fastest growing videos, and they almost always end up on the trending page. And even outside of just sports, they do capitalize off of big moments, with 2 examples being the Will Smith slap as well as the Kendrick and Drake beef. They also stream on Twitch pretty often, and I mean, I could go on and on about the different types of content that they do, such as the short films and stuff. However, I think we should just move on to the more business side of RDC and see how they are worth over $100 million. So first of all, let's talk about DreamCon since I talked about it earlier in the video. This is a massive convention and 2024 was the biggest it has ever been, with there being over 20,000 people, and according to the website, the $100 weekend badges were sold out, and there were also $250 upgrades as well as just day passes for each of the 3 days. And if you want to be very conservative and say that the average spending of each person on a ticket was about $50, then that is already $1 million, and then you have to consider all the people buying the merch as well as just getting food and all that type of stuff, and you can quickly see how this event most likely made a lot of money, and it was only a 3-day thing for the event itself. Obviously, it would have a bunch of expenses and take a lot of setup, though I definitely do believe they made a good profit, and this year they're going to be in Houston, and the event is most likely going to be even bigger over there, and this in itself seems like a really strong business, but it is only a fraction of what makes up the value of RDC. The next money-making method they have is through their store, and this is separate from the limited time stuff they have for DreamCon. RDC has their own store where they mostly sell clothes, but do have other stuff available, and honestly these clothes do seem really cool, and they have like 2 sections. There is the stuff that has the RDC brand directly, and it's more like merch, but they also have their I Love Anime line, which is pretty cool, and I assume it also sells pretty well, and through their store, I assume that RDC must be making a ton of money, and it seems like a great source of income and just contributes to their empire. And then you also do have the subscription model, in which there's a $5 per month option along with a $15 per month option. This offers a bunch of stuff including their manga, and there are just a ton of other perks, and I'm sure they probably make a lot of money through this as well. And then you also do have their brand deals and sponsorships that bring in quite a bit of money as well, especially because they do sponsored streams on Twitch, and those can really pay a lot as well. When it comes to ad revenue on YouTube, I honestly think that is probably the worst source of income just because they tend to make shorter videos and those don't pay very well, so they definitely do rely on their other sources of revenue, and I'm sure there have been even more sources of revenue that just help add onto their business. However, it is pretty clear that they have done very well for themselves and have undoubtedly built an empire worth over $100 million in the last 12 plus years that they have been making content. These guys are honestly such an inspiration, and I'm sure they've inspired many of the other comedy skit channels that we see on the platform, and it is no doubt that RDC has had such a massive impact on the industry. It has also just been really cool watching their growth with them meeting people like LeBron James and J. Cole, and overall this is one of the best groups on YouTube because they are a true group of friends that just love making content, and they appeal to a bunch of different people, and they are just very genuine, and that has led them to create such a loyal fan base. But that is also it for this video. Really quickly, I want to say a massive thank you for the support on my last 2 videos, since I just couldn't have expected this, and I really appreciate all the nice comments. Please let me know what types of videos you guys want to see on this channel, and I'll see if I can make them happen. But with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.